Hello, hello. All right, we can just get straight into it. I think I've got all of this right. It's for some reason it's harder to stream this than it is to stream when I play games on Shadow. I don't know. But their live stream should start in 3 minutes 53, 52. You're just going to watch me count down for the next 3 minutes. That'll be fun. I don't know why Victor's message saying hello was held for review, but how you doing? Patriot Penguin, thanks for joining. Mr. Red, how you doing? Yeah, exciting stuff. We should see some of the things which are in store for 2021. Like I don't know what those things are already. It's good stuff. I can tell you it's going to be good stuff. Which is an unoptimized mist. True that. Grande, how you doing? Yeah, like I would go over to Twitch for the live stream portion of my content just because going live is a slightly simpler process. It's trash in every other aspect. I think the quality and everything is slightly less. It's more oversaturated in terms of live stream, and it's also not where my audience is, so that makes it extremely difficult. But going live, YouTube, I have to set up an event, make a thumbnail, schedule the event, post that somewhere else, and then get my Streamlabs to connect to that. It's a hot mess. It's like me. It's a hot mess. How's the new year going so far? Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, I'm not back in the swing of YouTube yet. Like instead of kicking off 2021 hard, like I'm slowly kind of ramping up. So like I've done one video so far this year, one live stream. This is number 2. I've just renewed my Shadow Boost. I'm going to move my laptop closer. There's no reason to all the way over there, other than the fact it's plugged in. I mean, one of the things which I can already talk about this because they sent it out in their email. Obviously, they're going to be working on dual monitors, which I tested like 2 years ago. Works great. It worked well on the test demo, which was next to their data center. Go with fluff. Hoping Shadow on Chromebook officially. That also should be one of the things. It was in. Let's see what I can. I mean, we've only got a minute anyway, but they confirmed some things in the email. Let's take a look at. So in the email, they confirmed this one, which is a bit confusing. PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X controller compatibility. Now, I reported on that December that was in one of the changelogs. So I'm not sure if there's further developments, how much further you can develop that. Either PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X controllers work, or they don't. Find out. Microphone support for mobile. A lot of people ask me about that one. So that is an awesome get for people who are working with these like micro setups. Dual screen. Hell yes. That's going to convince me to buy a second monitor. No doubt. Very simple. And Chromebook support. Those are the things they confirmed in the email. So those are the things I'm allowed to say out loud right now. And then I think there'll be a few other things. So strap in. Victor, is my birthday soon as well, but happy birthday for whenever it is. I like your gaming chair, thank you very much. Just if anyone's gonna do a setup like this, don't get a gaming chair. Get an office chair. Get like an ergonomic one with a mesh back. Gaming chairs look cool, but the lumbar support is crap and it squeaks and it's not comfortable. And I sit here, obviously I'm working from home now, so I sit here 8 hours a day, and then as soon as I log off from work, that's here, and I move to here. There's really not that much difference. Okay, here we go.
Hello everyone, this is Yanis to present the Shadow News on this 14th of January 2021. And I'm with JB, our CTO. Hello JB, how are you?
Sultanas, how you doing?
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure most
good.
of this is public knowledge.
Pretty good.
It's JB. JB has been a godsend to this company since he's come in.
Like it's from my old times when I was working on open source stuff. Well,
For some reason,
everyone
every
was on AS,
message
and you
Victor
have no idea
sends is
what
hidden.
time zone it is. So you always say good
Very
morning
French.
because it's
Very
morning
French.
somewhere in the world. So that always works, right? Because for someone it's the morning, so it's always morning.
Where did you find the baguette emoji?
So
Is that a
yeah,
thing?
while people are
I
connecting,
found it.
I think we can talk some chill stuff. What about I mean, what are you playing right now, JB? What are you doing?
I
What's JB
made
playing?
the mistake because someone called Yanis gave me a license for Anno 1800 before Christmas, and I played the Anno, and it's like time consuming so much. So that was a mistake, but I
But get
enjoyed it.
Anna
So
croissant.
I finished the
Can you
season
out
8
French those emojis a day?
Origins
Eiffel Towers and stuff
just
as well.
before that, and of course I'm always playing
It
Pokemon
pops up when you typed in
Saturday
French.
gaming.
That's
So
stereotypical
you're like
emojis.
partnership with Ubisoft, but also playing some Pokemon, right?
Yeah, that's a good point, right? Like I'm only playing Ubisoft games. I should change that, right? What are you playing? Are
French
you still
fries and a
playing
baguette. That's a good one.
LOL?
Yes,
Their
I'm
audio
still
is low.
playing some
Let me
League
see
of
if I can turn
Legends,
it up.
that's true. And aside from that,
To be fair, I've got
some
Streamlabs
PS5,
audio
like,
set at like
playing the
70%,
last
and they
Assassin's
were on
Creed
50%. So,
and also last
but
Call
it
of
is also
Duty,
quiet,
which is not that good.
and I'm talking over the top of them.
And that's pretty much
But
it
we're not
for
missing
me
anything
in
yet,
terms of
I
playing,
promise.
because mostly I'm playing League of Legends.
Okay,
Sarsi,
so
good to
do
see
we
you.
start talking about the roadmap for this quarter?
Roadmap.
Yeah, I'm just like raising my level a little, so I hope everyone is happy. All good. So yeah, to start, what's coming out in the next couple of weeks and months? We will talk about the Q1. So everyone who doesn't know about how we do those shadow news, the topic for today will be the roadmap, and then we will have a discussion about ARM processor and what it means for shadow. So we will talk about Mac M1, as I'm seeing in the chat. And then we will answer the community question. First, we will start with the community question that we received on Discord during the week and the forum. And now, just after that, we will answer the questions in the chat. You can still ask questions during the presentation.
That's a good
and
point.
and
They
the
may
talk
talk
we
about
have.
a competition which
We
they're going to
will
launch,
try
but
to
that might be
answer,
towards
but
the
it's
end
not
of
that easy
Q1, so I
answer
won't talk
during
about it yet, just in case
the
they
chat,
do,
and
or in
it's
case I'm
easier
not allowed to talk
in
about it.
the shadow news. So to start, the first thing that we will be releasing in early February is the support for the PS5 and Series X controllers.
Now,
The
this I thought they
overall
already
idea for
did, or
us
maybe
is
they
to
just
improve the
mentioned it.
support, have native support of those controllers, make them appear properly in the quick menu, and it's requiring an update of a library. I don't know if you want to detail something about it, JB.
Yeah, not really.
Not much.
So maybe it's just
It's a
that they
simple
work
thing,
right now, but they
anyway,
don't
the
show up
idea is to
properly
make it
in
work
like.
natively, just like it will work on a local computer.
I'm not
Next
on.
update we
Just
will
went to do
have
my Shadow
in the next couple
shortcut.
of
I'm not on
weeks
Shadow.
is
This is my
the
normal PC.
dynamic shutdown. So when
Emulators,
we
360
shut down
controllers. Yeah, that's what I
Shadow,
thought. Okay, so they will show
right
up
now
as a
it's
PlayStation
fixed at
5
30
or an
minutes all the
Xbox
time.
Series X
We are
controller.
improving this and making sure that it's at 30 minutes when the servers are loaded, and when we have less people on the servers, it will be more time. Like it will give you like 1 hour or 1 hour and 30 minutes.
And I think it goes from 10
that was
minutes to 1
sorely
hour
needed.
and 30 for now. And this update has been deployed on one of the European data centers, so we can test it. But it seems to work well, so we're going to continue deployment on other data centers during Q1.
Oh,
So
that 30-minute timeout has been the bane of my
I've seen already
existence.
3 or 4 questions on the chat about that, so that you don't have this fixed 30 minutes timer that was a bit annoying.
Very annoying. Okay,
yeah,
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Everyone is to understand that it's important for us to make sure that the servers are not fully loaded all the time. So that's why we're making this dynamic and not.
So dynamic is very clever. Like they will set a cap for server load, and if it's quiet, you won't time out, or you won't time out for longer. If it's busy,
is the update of how we handle the USB over IP. It's still a software that we use that is not developed in-house. It's a third party, but we are updating the way we install it, and we are updating it actually. So a newer version, which will improve the performance and make it work better.
Okay. If they're improving the performance of USB over IP and that improves speed,
this is important,
you might be able to get a webcam
last,
on Shadow.
Version macOS Big Sur, where USB over IP is not working well. So we're doing a lot of things. So we support better, more devices, and we fix a lot of bugs that you have on USB over IP.
Good.
It will still depend on your
Another
upload speed, but if your
weighted
upload speed is
updates
good and it's USB
how
over
we
IP
handle
speeds,
the
which are holding you
microphone
back,
on Android
you
and
might be able
iOS.
to use a
So
webcam.
both of those are in beta already, and it should come out early next month. Basically, it's yeah.
Yeah, and I think also some stuff were pushed on dynamic bitrate also on Android and iOS. So the next betas for Android and iOS gets a lot of improvements on the microphone and on those dynamic bitrate also.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it on the things we already announced in the past, and now we will start with the things we announced today. Some pretty that are coming up. JB, can you tell me more about what you're
Tell me
doing
more,
on the
JB.
storage
Tell me more.
side of things?
Yeah, so
Like, does he have a car?
There are a lot of issues we have, of course, on Shadow. It's not perfect. One of the things is the storage performance is not always good, and sometimes also like the filer, which is a server that is doing the storage, is actually crashing, and that's very bad experience. So we are working, like there is a large team now working on that to improve that. So maybe if you're in the US, you're less impacted, but we need to improve the reliability so it crashes less, and also to improve like the throughput, especially when you're writing and installing games, because that's very heavy. So we are testing a lot of things. Mostly one of the main is to upgrade the OS on the filer from FreeBSD 11 to 12, or trying Linux. And we're also trying some new hardware for the filers that can sustain more throughput, so that the storage performance is better. So that's
I don't think I've ever had an
Q1,
issue with
Q2
storage
maybe
performance,
after.
but I mean,
yeah,
you
there is
guys
a
let me know if
large,
you've ever had anything.
long tail work on the storage performance, which is one of the biggest issues that the community has reported so far.
Yeah, that's very promising. I guess we can to give more details for the newbies. Like storage has always been something complicated for us, mostly because what we are doing is something that no one is actually doing, giving you access to a high speed storage for gaming with dedicated storage. So that's very
Yeah,
different than what
so that's exactly one of the main issue, right? Like most of the cloud people are using Linux machines. What we're doing is like or Windows servers, and what we are running a normal Windows 10 so that you can game. And the way is like those the way it's writing to the server is like most of the server for storage are not done for that.
Okay.
There is little deduplication. We're doing block storage, which is not the best, but there is no other way, and that's a problem, right, for storage. That they are not
even like loading games and things like that.
On that.
It's as quick as if I tried to load it
We
locally.
now have a good solution, and we just need time to push it for everyone.
But yeah, if people are having issues, that's great. That's a fix for them. If it just makes it better in general, things load faster.
In terms of VR, we are now in alpha. Do you have anything to add about this topic?
So the app was the VR app was in alpha. It was pushed for the Shadow Quest and announced for the Shadow Quest. Now it's in alpha
Game
for
Pass
the
storage,
Quest
yes,
2, I
definitely.
believe. And we are fixing a lot of issues because of course there is lots of issues, and the quality is still not there compared to virtual desktop. We are still not there. So we are trying to like change the internals of the streamer so we reduce the latency, because so when you turn your head quickly,
their latency is actually pretty good even in alpha.
So we're going deeper in order to fix that issue, and once this issue is fixed, then we can move to something like push more that to
but all of my testing has been on the Oculus Quest 1. Yeah, exactly what Victor Penguin just said.
The VR app now is merged
Quest
with the Android
2.
app, and the VR server side is merged with the streamer, so it's going to have all the improvements that the other apps have.
That sounds very good.
I think I'm going to have a dedicated conversation on VR later this month, maybe next month. So if there's anything I'm allowed to say about that, or just any updates, then I'll let you guys know.
Sure, but we're trying. Aside from that, you have some pretty shiny things to talk about.
Yeah, so there are a few things, right? So as you've listened, we're going to do one release every month, right? So you'll see the features come every month. But so we have things that we are shipping in Q1. We have the things like storage and VR, which are going to go Q1 to Q2. And then there are stuff which are a bit like longer term that we're looking at. One of the things is upscaling. We have like a new upscaling algorithm that is quite nice. So the idea of upscaling is that you can stream like 720p and scale to 4K or
It's
540p
like
and scale
their
to
own
1080p.
in-house version of DLSS
Or
2.0
like
or
double the resolution, and that's a bit
GeForce
similar
AI
to what
upscaling
NVIDIA has
on the
with
Shield.
DLSL. And this gives you, for example, the same quality or better quality without increasing your bandwidth, which
That
is
would be
important,
awesome for people with
because like
worse
sometimes you
internet
don't have enough
connections.
bandwidth.
Lower the
Also because,
resolution,
like,
and they do
if you have
in-house
enough bandwidth,
upscaling.
maybe you want
would
like
be
higher
amazing.
frequency, and so that you have better reactivity than higher resolution. And this upscaling happens on the client side and allows you to play a game even if you have a 2K screen and your boost is only able to do 1080p correctly for this game. It's going to scale and look like a 2K game.
That's awesome, because even for boost they recommend 1080p. It can do more,
so we have a good algorithm,
but this will be like, yes, it definitely can do more.
Integrate that in the official clients.
So I guess it's excellent for like a low bandwidth and not
you
the
guys
best
are going to make me
connections
buy
that we have.
a Shield.
But what about the people who have very good bandwidth and who are already streaming in 4K?
So this
Can I
will,
go 8K? Tell me I could do
allow
8K.
them to, for example, if we have two screens, to not have like explode their bandwidth, but also like have like a lower latency, right? Because when you stream at high bit rates, you increase your latency because that's mathematical. So that all allows you to have like a better latency on games.
Okay,
so that's what we're looking at.
Fidelity upscaling for myself, because I've got pretty good bandwidth,
so
is not going to impact performance when I go to dual screen,
I've seen
which is good to know.
Good to know. For color again on the chat. The streamer was updated to be able to stream 444. Currently,
they're still not cheap. No, I know.
Because the clients can't, because most of the client cannot decode 444 video in hardware. So one of the solutions, like upscaling, is to stream 422 and then use machine learning to move from 422 to 444. I hope also in Q1 or Q2 we'll be able to for the people who have the right hardware to send 444 directly. But if you don't have the right hardware on the client side, it's going to suck, because then it's going to go back to CPU. So I know people care about that.
If I remember well, you need to have like a Gen 10 NVIDIA GPU to decode it hardware side. So
I think
I've turned it up a little bit. Let me know if it's now too loud or if it's better.
I think it's Gen 9 that has it, right? So 444. On macOS also you need the same. But like, the thing is, like, if you start decoding in software, you cannot be at 15 gigabits per second, right? It's not going to work. So those are longer term, so not Q1 but after, and we care about that. And awesome. What you don't see is like we're working on improving the global architecture of the whole shadow, the streamer and the renderer, and also like the customer space. So all the there is a lot of technical debt after 4 years of development. So we're trying to streamline that in order to like reduce a lot of bugs.
Yeah, it's just because he's got a cheap gaming headset mic.
Sometimes to start. Those seems easy, but it's not. It's because we have a lot of components.
But this is what fills me with confidence. Like, just listening to the man speak, you know JB knows his stuff, and he is now in charge of the tech side of it. So extremely happy about that.
That's excellent news. And yeah, I know it's something that the devs have been working on for the last couple of months. They're starting to make huge progress on this, and hopefully in the end it will make us much more reliable and much faster to deploy new things. So it's all about velocity. But aside from that, we have some great things in alpha right now and coming in beta soon. What is it?
Yeah, so for those who were there at the last Shadow News last month, we have now the dual screen is in beta for the box. Of course, most the people who have the box V1 are in France, I know, so this is the international one, but it's coming also for Windows and Mac version, so the normal apps are going to be able to support dual screen in alpha. So I've seen some people already asking for that. It's going to come in alpha very soon. Based on your feedback and how many people test and how many of you give us feedback about what's working and what's not working.
I'll have to find out when very soon is, because I'm jumping straight over to alpha.
In the next weeks, and then depending on your feedback, then in beta, and then in prod, following the regular schedule of releases.
Okay, a few weeks for alpha.
On Windows, on Mac, maybe also on Linux.
I need to get onto Amazon and get a second screen.
I'm not too sure. And I've seen people caring about Linux on the chat. I use Linux all the time, so I care also. So don't worry. We care about that. Another question that has been asked quite a bit is about the Chromebook. The Chromebook is now working. So in also maybe end of the week, no, it's already Thursday though. So probably next week in beta on the store, you can install the Android app on your Chromebook and it will just work fine. So we fixed the issue that was mostly
Chromebook supported
on the streamer side and also on the client app. And so if you have a Chromebook that supports Android, a normal one, you just go to the store, you say that you want to be a beta tester, so you start to have the beta version, and you will have the normal Chromebook.
It was a pretty big issue in the past.
Which Chromebook was pretty much the only platform
the right? There is
they were
dozens
missing.
of Chromebooks. We don't have all of them, but we hope that you will have it. And if your Chromebook supports Android apps, it should work fine with Shadow. There is nothing specific for that.
I always love those differences when you see we just did the Shadow News in Europe just before and with the French speakers, and like no one has a Chromebook in France. Like basically no one uses it. And here I see that a lot of people are happy. It's great news that you guys are happy about it and you can try it right.
Kirby, how you doing? DX Snipes, welcome to the stream.
This is the Android app, right? So it's not the Linux. It's
not I'll
do
a recap video.
The Android app in beta, and you will have it.
Excellent. So,
depending on how much other news there is this week, it'll either be part of cloud gaming news or it'll be its own dedicated video.
ARM, if I guess, and we can transition on those ARM stuff. What can you give us about Shadow on ARM? What can you tell us, Jamie? Any news about this?
So this morning I received my new Mac ARM M1, which is running the early version of the Mac version, Mac M1 version of Shadow. And actually, we have like the first.
Do I watch the French version? No, I don't understand it.
So there is a first binary that runs for Shadow.
My language.
So in the next weeks, we'll have like an alpha and then a beta for ARM, so you can use it your Shadow on your Mac ARM without going through Rosetta. So best performance, and so you will have like the best battery life that you can have with the Mac ARM. And there is a lot of work on ARM for us. We, of course, because like now there are Windows on ARM that are getting more and more popular. And many people of the community.
Oh my God, Ninja is live. We should know.
Version of Shadow. It is also something we're working on because like it's difficult.
So that's awesome because Apple,
many of you
obviously, they're so innovative. And they're the first people to ever use ARM processors. But if you have just dropped $2,000 on a new MacBook with an ARM-based processor,
but like you can have a Raspberry Pi 4 and Android C4 everywhere. So we are looking at how we can move the Linux client to those, and at least that you could use it on a normal Raspberry Pi where you're running VLC and Kodi.
This is the piece. So because it's going to support ARM processors,
I don't know when exactly, so don't come
lower
every week
powered
for that,
ARM processors, which you will find in the Raspberry Pi. Essentially, where we're going with this is everyone will just be able to make their own version of the Shadow Ghost with a Raspberry Pi, and it'll run Shadow. People kind of hack it at the moment. The performance is
what happens in real life.
A bit hit and miss.
Yeah,
and that's because
the great news.
The performance of the Raspberry Pis doesn't currently support or fully support the current client. But
so
once the ARM-based version is out,
to use the Rosetta,
make your own Shadow Ghost.
Version from Apple. Our dev did an amazing job to make it work on ARM natively.
Yeah, and related to that, we're working on the web version. So I've seen the first proof of concept, so like really R&D, but it just runs directly using WebRTC.
It just runs.
Other services where you basically can run the Shadow on your web as a web client, and that would be really cool because that would allow us also to be able to run on Chromecast devices, for example. So. Yeah, that
didn't think he was going to mention it. He's called it out, not me, so I'm allowed to talk about it.
We'll see.
Shadow running in the web, in a web browser.
So we'll take a couple of questions to expand this discussion about ARM. If you guys have any questions about it, I see.
If you can get it on, which just means you can run it in a Chrome tab.
I did not run it on my AMD laptop with Linux. Only Windows runs perfect.
So how do you get the M1 Alpha? Yes, go on Discord, ask for me or ask for Romain, and you will get it. So is it
There's no
going to be
update on
web codecs? No,
Valorant.
it's going to
Valorant
use
is
H.264 for the
on
web version for now using WebRTC.
Tencent's side, not Shadow. There's
Is the
nothing they can
shadow
do until
ghost
Tencent
design on the
allow virtual
blackboard behind
machines.
you? No, it's just like stupid scribble. This is an R&D room, so like there is always stupid things on the blackboard.
Yeah, and it's support for Amazon Fire Stick.
Fire Stick should work also because that's normal Android, right? So there is no reason. And so
Which means
WebRTC
Fire Stick,
concerns
any of
you,
those cheap
I
Android streaming
understand.
devices.
But currently, this is the only way we can have it on a large set of devices, including the LG TV, some of the Samsung TVs, because we're not going to do one version for all those OSs. I would prefer to be able to use Quick and web codecs, but web codecs is like an experimental feature of Chrome. So today there is no other way we can display in a correct way. And using just WebSocket and decoding with MSC, we tried, the latency is way too high. So I really don't like it.
Which also means if you can get it running in the browser,
So I will
if you
jump on
wanted to
the
jump
community
onto your
question that
Shadow
we
at
received
work
and
or
that we
school,
gathered,
not
in the
condoning
back
this,
So
obviously you
the
can't
first
install the Shadow
question
client,
is
they'll probably
community.
block it, but if you can get to the
It's
website
coming
and
from
launch it
Luffy
through the browser,
337.
I'm just
I've
saying.
seen talk that using Moonlight Qt, you can get really great results with Shadow on Raspberry Pi when you get this
Disagree.
middle.
But well, we just
I don't think Moonlight is better
coming
than
from
their
ARM,
in-house streamer.
on macOS, and then we're going to get the same for Linux so that you can run it without anything else. If you care about Windows on ARM, I'm not sure there are many people who care, but maybe we could do something about it.
Next question.
I've not heard anything about updates to the version on Shield TV would be the Android version, right?
So around the Pi
Is it
4
running
we
Android?
already answered. He's also asking about the Jetson.
Well, Ian, so what they were saying is, yes, you'll be able to use it in the browser on your Chromebook, but they're also, as of, I think they said a couple of weeks, they're going to start supporting Chromebook OS or Chrome OS.
It's very
So you'll just be able to get it natively from the store.
Wow. So the
That's-
problem
is that
with
his Pi?
all those ARM devices is that you need to have a custom code path to be able to do hardware decoding, right? Because there is no
Code
unified
path.
API like you have on Windows or Mac OS for that, right? So the problem is that you need to select a few boards and work on them. That's why, like, if you can put Android on it, then just you do that and use the Android client, because the Android gives you an API called Media Codec, which is the same for everyone.
Plus, Chromebooks are becoming so
and that's the problem, right? Like,
just
if you do
mainstream
the best
now,
decoding
especially since the lockdown.
for Raspberry Pi,
Like
which is
low-powered
going to use
kind
all
of
the Broadcom library,
work
and it's not
mules
going
that they
to be
give
great
to
for
school
Android
kids and
C4, so
offices
that's
and
why,
things like that.
it's
Chromebooks
very
have been the go-to for that.
I would love to have a way that we have like a hook, so that you can write your own decoder, but like that's not feasible, right? That's very unlikely to
So
work.
when this ARM-based version that can run on a Raspberry Pi comes out, I'm going to go mental with a project on this and combine it with my brand new hobby of a 3D printer and stick like a Raspberry Pi in a helmet or something and have like an on-off switch and have the eyes light up when the Pi turns on. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Getting this upgrade.
And I might, if I do that, I might give something
CPU
like that away.
Running on ARM, no way, right? Like we are not yet at the point where servers can be ARM and run the Windows games correctly. We're looking at new CPUs because I know that most of the games today are CPU limited on Shadow, and I'm looking at a lot of configurations. I've been discussing that on several Discord channels. So
JB's looking at new
deeper on
configs.
But of course, between the time I select the CPU and the time the infrastructure will ship it, it's going to take months. So I don't know exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, the next question from Germany, Jojo. Yeah, that's something we already understood.
Yeah, it's about the Raspberry Pi. Yeah, so of course, like Raspbian is the main.
I don't speak German. I'm not sure what his question is.
And for the next question, which is about WebOS, well, yes, but probably the web version and not the native version.
So I'm not sure if they've now. This was
And
specifically
finally,
for
the last
Q1.
question about from the
It's titled
community is
Q1
the
roadmap.
development
I'm
for
not
ARM
sure if they're now
complex for
talking
users
beyond
developing an
Q1 because
application
this is
for
an optimistic
x86.
3 months,
So
considering we're
on
halfway through
macOS,
January.
no, right? It's mostly a recompilation. There are a few things to tweak, but mostly there is no difference on macOS. And on Windows ARM devices, it should be around the same, right? There is almost no difference. For Linux-based machines, the problem is like running it is easy. Running it with CPU decoding is easy, but having like for each device a good hardware decoder, this takes a lot of time, right? Because like most of them have like something that is completely custom. Like the hardware from the Box V1 and the Ghost is are different between each other, but are very different from the Raspberry Pi, very different from the Odroid, and very
That is a
different from
very
the
good
Jetson
point.
Nano.
I've got
So we cannot maintain too many of those at the same time.
retro
It takes
something or
too
other,
much
but it's
time,
just like a
too
little
much
Game
time,
Boy running a Pi,
and you
but you can
cannot.
install
The
Android
Linux
apps on
world
there. So I'd
is
technically be able
converging
to get Shadow
something
running
that
on
is
that.
way simpler with Wayland and GBM buffers,
As soon as
NVMe
yeah, as soon as
buffers.
this
But
ARM-based version
that's
comes
like
out where you
a
can
bit
run
longer
Pis,
time, right? Today
or
there is
just
still
like
very
lower powered
complex.
devices,
So that's
the
why it's
amount
more
of
difficult to ship.
crazy setups you're going to see
On
is just going to
Android,
explode. Like
whether
people
it's
will get it to run on
64,
like ridiculous
x86, there is
things.
absolutely no difference for us.
Excellent. Thank you very much for your answers, JB. We'll just like take a couple of community questions from the chat right now to finish this Shadow news.
So there is a few questions about dual monitor support. Please go back to the beginning of this live, and you will have your answer. Ghost in the US, probably not. We don't have many stock about the Ghost. Maybe we have a few we need to check, but I think we don't have that many.
Thanks for the name, Malte. I think you got it wrong here. JB
Julia,
became
incident
Julia,
manager.
and I became Malte.
Oh, I'm Julia.
Yeah.
Well, Julia is way more handsome
Yeah,
and beautiful than I am.
hopefully they see that question. Shadow VR on Quest 2.
So yeah, I saw a couple of questions also about the EU pre-orders. I don't have much info to share, unfortunately, for now today. We're not working directly on this topic, and hopefully you get some news very soon. But we have nothing to announce yet.
There are a few people talk about the microphone issue. I think the microphone issue has been detected and is being worked on. So yeah, more updates soon about that.
Unfortunately, about people asking for a release like in Italy or other territories, it's the same as the pre-orders, as we shall honor orders before like opening a new territory. So we'll need to wait a little for this.
So yeah, some people care about games. We fixed the RDR2 in the updates in December. We know there is still Valorant and Genshin that are basically blocked. We're working
oh yeah, Genshin's
on
blocked
it,
as well.
but so far I don't have anything to share.
I'm seeing like in the chat people saying like Valorant support won't come due to Riot anti-cheat. That's not totally true. Like Riot anti-cheat is like heavy, it's complicated, and it's even giving a lot of issues to users right now. But on the other hand, we are talking with them directly, and we hope that we get some news about it, and we can get like a whitelisting or some sort of whitelisting
Let me
to make sure that
retype
people
that so it's in
understand
there
that
twice.
Shadow is legit, and we're not cheating through Shadow. So may work.
Quest 2 is available. Shadow VR is available on Quest 2 in alpha, I think. So you should check Nisical.
It wasn't the last time I checked, but that was before Christmas.
Yeah, and I don't understand the question. What is Shadow tier?
Okay, I might check my Quest 2 again. Last time I tested it, like loaded the desktop, super zoomed in.
Why did you leave us, guys? Stay.
And I couldn't like look around or control anything, but then it works on the Quest 1. So I'm gonna have to check.
No, I have no details about it. Like right now, we shall not open any new data center. It doesn't change anything from how we're running our service. We're still a French company, so we're still in Europe, and we are not doing anything specific to support UK law. We are under the EU law, I'd say. So.
Reading people's questions, there were like
And
so many
yes,
questions
some
for
people
things
still
that
talk
aren't
about Chromebook and dual screen. Please
like a
go
thing.
back to the earliest of the live to look at everything.
I
We are
let
not deploying
JB.
in Canada, so but
Yeah.
if you're close to Chicago, try to see what is your ping for Chicago. 5.1 and
Chicago.
7.1 surround for 2021. Yes, that's on roadmap, but maybe not in Q1 or Q2. I don't know yet.
So let's take a final question. So JB will answer. You choose the question, JB.
Oh, well, there is too many of them, right? Would Shadow at the H266 in the future? That's a good one. I hope we do AV1 before doing that.
And VP9?
VP. Well, actually, we should test that, right? Like there is. What I like with AV1 is that AV1 has a special mode called that was developed with people from Twitch, actually, which is called CFL, which is Chroma from Luma, and this should like improve the streaming of video games by quite a lot, right? So I really care about AV1 support because of that.
Okay. That sounds promising. It's like
Update.
does it have a hardware decoding right now? Do we have hardware decoder for AV1?
Yes, of course. The latest phones, the latest graphic cards. There is. I've been testing it on Linux, on Windows, and on Android. So yes, there is.
Yeah, for those who don't know, JB has another life, and he has started. He has worked on a very special video player called VLC, and so he's quite an expert in terms of codec.
Yes.
Excellent. I guess that's a wrap for us. I'm saying just the question about why Netflix and Prime Video don't seem to work on Shadow. It's the apps that are not working due to HTTP protection. But if you run it through a browser, it will work well.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you very much, JB, for your time.
You're welcome.
Don't hesitate, guys, to follow us on Twitch, to follow us on Twitter, on all the platforms we
All
have.
right. They are
We'll
finishing
coming
up
back. We'll
now.
be coming back in 2 weeks for the next Shadow news, and I guess it won't be me, but Malte this time. And that's pretty much a wrap. Just the final word, JB. What is it?
Love.
Oh, the same word as you did in French. Very good. Amour.
All right. That was a lot to take in. Like I said, the official title for that says Q1 roadmap and updates. Q1 is, end of March. We're partway through January, so if that's everything that they're going to do in the next 3 months, that is a lot of stuff. Will we get it all? Were they talking a little bit outside? Maybe. If I find out things like that, then I'll always let you guys know. But that, either way, the stuff we got was some pretty good news. What did I say about 30-minute thing? So at the moment, it's capped at 30 minutes across the board. They're going to do some dynamic timeouts, which means if the server load isn't like at capacity, if it's fairly free, then it will dynamically increase to like an hour. Or if it's like Saturday evening and everyone is on, then it will bump back down to 30 minutes. Yeah, bane of my existence when it just cuts out, especially because I do like I write all of my video notes in my word processing stuff while I'm on Shadow, because then I edit the video on Shadow, so it's easy for me to refer to notes if there's like lists of games or something like that while I'm editing. So I do all my note taking there, and if I'm halfway through writing notes and I step away to get something to eat or I get distracted, come back, I need to hope that it did like an auto save like after I started writing stuff, because otherwise I've lost a bunch of notes. So yeah, that's pretty good. So we got the dynamic, so that's the dynamic timeout. I'm going to do a recap of all of this stuff anyway, but obviously this is like fresh off the streams. I'm just trying to remember everything that they said. So dynamic timeout, some form of upscaling, which just sounds awesome. So very much linked to kind of what NVIDIA do with their Shield TV Pro, where they do the AI upscaling. So you can stream at 720 and it will upscale it to 1080. That way, fidelity-wise, you're getting a much clearer picture, but bandwidth-wise, you set it down to what you need only to run 720, which just means you get the best of both worlds. So you get that high fidelity picture and the performance. So you'll get that quick response time, which just sounds amazing. Then we got all of the ARM-based stuff. So the version of Shadow that will work on ARM-based processors opens it up to obviously like brand new MacBooks. Yeah. Raspberry Pi is the big one, I think. So they didn't mention it's they've already talked about Raspberry Pis, so it's not really the discussion at the moment is they may do some kind of competition once that is live for people creating their own like shadow ghosts, which is what I was saying. Like as part of that, I'll probably print something like stick a Raspberry Pi into something like this and have like an on-off switch somewhere and have this be your shadow PC. I think would be pretty cool. Did they talk about Intel-based Chromebooks? They talked about Chromebooks in general, just that Chromebook or Chrome OS or Chromebooks will be supported in general. So from kind of two sides, depending on which one will be delivered first, it sounds like Chrome itself will be supported first, just from the Chrome, I think, is it the Chrome Store or the Google Play Store? Just the actual app natively will work on Chromebooks. They said for most Chromebooks, because there's so many variants of Chromebooks, they haven't been able to test everything, but I assume they've gone with the most popular ones and tested those. So yeah, support for Chrome, but also the other side of it is even if it wasn't working natively on the Chrome, with the ARM, I think related to the ARM processor side of it, if they can get it running in the Chrome browser or in the browser, it'll run on pretty much anything. Like there will literally be like no limits at that point. Also, the benefit I was saying is, and I'm not condoning it, but if you are at school or you are at work and you wanted to access your shadow and they block you from installing the client, then maybe you could just go through the browser and play some games. Who said that? um, trying to remember everything else they said. If I can get it on the Chrome browser, it would be so much easier. Yeah, because literally, like at that point, once it runs in the browser and ARM-based processors, you are not restricted by pretty much any device. Like they were saying, like an Amazon Fire Stick. Yep. Running natively on Samsung and LG TVs from their app stores. Yep. Like what's stopping you? Which is amazing stuff. Like I said, the thing to be seen. And when we talk about time frames with Shadow, we take everything with a pinch of salt because some of the things we've just talked about are amazing developments, and they have slated this as a Q1 roadmap update. So take all of this with a pinch of salt. Like if it will be delivered within the first 3 months of the year is yet to be seen. But and then VR, I guess, is the other big side of it. So at the moment, it's available in alpha. Admittedly, they said themselves the performance isn't quite up to scratch with what you'd get on virtual desktop. I actually find it pretty good in terms of latency. This is what happens when I talk in meetings all day and I jump straight on a stream to keep talking. In terms of latency, the testing I've done, I found their latency to be pretty much on par with virtual desktop. It's because it's in a alpha state. It's the reliability that I found. Like it would just randomly shut off, or it would crash or freeze or something. But that is an alpha, so they're saying that's one of their focuses for Q1, and it going into beta with that, which should mean stability. I thought Quest 2 was an issue. Like I said, all of my testing I had to do on the Quest 1 because Quest 2 wasn't supported. JB saying that Quest 2 is supported. Like I said, last time I tested it was before Christmas. So it's worth me having another look. I'll have another look. And if it's to the point where I would, because I haven't done like a dedicated video on it. I've done how to set up Shadow with virtual desktop, but I've not done the Shadow VR app because I don't want to talk about it if I won't use it personally yet, because it would always almost be like me recommending it. and or in the state it was last time I tried it, I couldn't personally recommend it. So, but it's time for me to jump in, give that another try, and obviously if it is at a point where it's playable and at a standard that I'm happy with and I'm happy to recommend it, then I'll probably make a video. Because I think VR, Mike over at VR Oasis tweeted something about it today, so it must mean that he's been testing it because he's going to plan a video on it. So, yeah. I think that was all of the news. Obviously, I'm going to go back, rewatch it, consume everything they said, try and understand all of the French accents. And that, that was enough news. That recap alone just took me like 10 minutes. So that was enough to be its own video. So is there a way to use a VM on Shadow? Shadow is a VM. So essentially it's like a stream of a stream. So it may be possible, but not recommended. Although saying that, you can play like how have I forgotten the name of it? Google. I talk about it every bloody week. Streamception. Like, could you run Windows 7? Maybe. Thank you. I don't know why I forgot the name of Stadia. I swear it's relevant. Like, you can play Stadia on Shadow. It's obviously not as good a performance as if you played it locally, because it, like I said, is a stream of a stream. But like, you can do that. So running a VM, yes, probably possible, but would it be the best performance? Mark Burke, thank you very much. Appreciate it, dude. Nice to have you back. That was pretty much all I had planned for this evening, because I'm gonna get on with one sec. Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it. Did I just ruin it? So I've got to do a little bit more work, some gluing on of ears and backplate, but yeah, this was my Mando build, and it's pretty much almost done. And look, it looks like metal. That's insane. And then I tried to do Daredevil for the last day and 15 hours, I think that was, and it failed at the top. So it just ended up with this weird cowl thing. Ganja Smoke, thank you very much. I have noted that you donated 420. That was very clever. Thank you very much. Yeah, before I do drop off, have you guys got any questions? Anything about, I guess, Shadow in general, or anything from the update that we've just watched? Obviously, I've watched it at the same time as you. Knew a little bit before, but not everything that they spoke about. Because if not, then I'll call it there. Video is going to be a little bit late this weekend because I have a work thing that usually the day where I would make my content, I now have to jump into work. So it'll be a little bit late, but yeah, so I'll try and do the general cloud gaming news update, this Shadow one. There might be a VR accessory one. I'm now talking myself into 3 videos in less time, but yeah. And then probably Saturday is the podcast as well, and I usually go live just before that, and we'll play some games. So any games you want me to check out that you want to see if it runs okay on Shadow, you can always let me know. Twitter at MarkWattsVLG or Discord. Link for it is in the description down below. Jump on Discord. Drop me a message if there's anything you want to see. Tempted to jump back into Cyberpunk. I put it off because I had a horrible experience with the amount of bugs it had, and I was waiting for like a giant patch. But if people think it's better and it's playable now, then I might jump back into that and we can give that a go. But yeah, I'm going to jump off now. Thanks for stopping by, watching the news with me. Just nice to hang out for a bit, and I'll see you soon.